A cloth that defies time. There are relics in history, and then there are mysteries that transcend history itself. Among them, none has stirred the imagination, provoked the skeptic, and inspired the believer more than the Shroud of Turin. A simple piece of linen, measuring just over 4 meters long, it bears the faint yet unmistakable image of a crucified man. For centuries, millions have whispered the same question. Could this be the very burial shroud of Jesus Christ? Now, in the 21st century, artificial intelligence has turned its unblinking gaze upon the shroud. With algorithms capable of detecting patterns invisible to the human eye, AI has begun to reveal secrets hidden for nearly 2 millennia. And what it has uncovered is nothing short of breathtaking. For those who already believed, it is a confirmation of faith. For those who doubted, it is a haunting challenge. But the shroud is more than a scientific puzzle. It is a window into the sacred. Every fiber tells a story of agony, sacrifice, and transcendent love. Every faint trace of blood testifies to the wounds of redemption. And the image itself, neither painted nor burned nor explained by science, speaks of a mystery that seems to echo from beyond death, the resurrection. The history of the shroud. The shroud's journey is as mysterious as the image it bears. Tradition holds that it first appeared in the city of Edessa, hidden away by early Christians who revered it as a sacred relic. Later, it surfaced in Constantinople, only to vanish again during the chaos of the Crusades. When it re-emerged in the 14th century in France, it immediately ignited devotion and controversy alike. By the 16th century, the shroud found its way to Turin, Italy, where it has been guarded ever since. Fires, wars, and revolutions threatened to destroy it, yet it survived, as if protected by an unseen hand. When flames once licked the edges of the reliquary, witnesses testified that the linen itself remained miraculously intact, save for scorch marks that still frame its image today. Pilgrims came by the thousands. They wept, they prayed, they fell silent before the ghostly figure on the cloth. Was it truly Christ? The Church, cautious and humble, has never declared it dogma. Yet for the faithful, the shroud has become a fifth gospel, a visual testimony to the suffering and triumph of the Lord. The first glimpses of mystery. Long before AI ever scanned its fibers, scientists puzzled over the image. Unlike any artwork in history, it was not produced with paint, dye, or brush. The image rests only on the uppermost threads of the fabric, so delicate that it disappears when viewed up close, yet comes alive when seen from a distance. Negative photography in 1898 revealed astonishing detail. The wounds of crucifixion, the swelling of the face, the rivulets of blood from the crown of thorns. How could a medieval forger, centuries before photography, have produced such a perfect negative image, one that even modern science struggles to explain? Theories abounded. Some claimed it was a painting, yet chemical analysis revealed no pigments. Others argued it was a scorch mark, yet heat penetrates fibers differently. Still others suggested it was the work of genius artistry. But artistry cannot explain the accuracy of the wounds, the anatomical precision, or the microscopic traces of real human blood identified as type AB. Every attempt to dismiss the shroud has only deepened the mystery. It resists explanation, as if deliberately, so as if it were not meant to be reduced to artifact, but received as testimony. Theology, woven in linen for believers. The shroud is more than linen. It is sacrament in thread, a silent homily woven with suffering and glory. It portrays not the triumphant Christ of mosaics, crowned in gold, but the humiliated Christ of Calvary, beaten, scourged, pierced, dead. And yet, paradoxically, it is precisely in that death that life bursts forth. The shroud becomes a bridge between Good Friday and Easter Sunday. It shows the marks of passion, but also something more mysterious. An image imprinted not by hand, but perhaps by the very light of resurrection. As one theologian observed, It is as though the cloth itself was scorched with the fire of eternal life at the very moment when Christ passed from death to glory. Thus, to gaze upon the shroud is to stand at the threshold of the empty tomb. It is to see with trembling the shadow of the greatest miracle in history, the age of AI. A new gaze upon the shroud. For centuries, the Shroud of Turin was studied by human eyes, microscopes, cameras, and chemical tests. Each new tool raised more questions than it answered. But now in the digital age, artificial intelligence has been unleashed upon this ancient relic. Unlike the human observer, AI sees patterns where we see randomness. It can scan millions of pixels, analyze fibers at microscopic scale, and reconstruct three-dimensional images from flat surfaces. When AI scanned the shroud, the results astonished even seasoned researchers. The faint face that had captivated believers suddenly came alive with uncanny clarity. The bruises, the swelling, the trails of blood became sharper. AI algorithms enhance the depth of the image, revealing a three-dimensional body, not a flat imprint. Forensic experts were struck the man of the shroud was not an artistic invention. He was real with anatomical detail, impossible for medieval forgers to invent. Some AI reconstructions even suggested that the shroud preserves something beyond human death. As if the cloth captured a burst of radiant energy, a flash of light so intense it seared an image into linen without burning it. Scientists hesitate to say it. Theologians whisper it openly. Perhaps what AI has uncovered is the very trace of the resurrection itself. Science meets the sacred skeptics have long insisted that faith and science cannot coexist. The shroud shatters that illusion. Here is a relic that welcomes investigation. Carbon dating spectroscopy digital imaging and yet eludes final explanation. Every attempt to demystify it circles back to the same conclusion. The shroud cannot be reduced to fraud or accident. In 1988, carbon dating tests controversially suggested a medieval origin. Headlines screamed, "Shroud proven fake." But later studies revealed flaws. The sample tested came from a corner repaired after a fire in the 1500s, contaminated with newer fibers. When more advanced techniques were applied, the dating results swung back toward the 1st century. Pollen grains embedded in the cloth matched plants found only in ancient Palestine. Dust samples aligned with the geology of Jerusalem. Even traces of rare Middle Eastern limestone were found near the image of the feet. AI, far from debunking, has amplified the mystery. Its scans confirmed that the image has no brushstrokes, no pigments, no physical medium. The coloration rests only on the outermost fibrils of the linen, thinner than a human hair. Nothing penetrates beneath. It is as if light itself etched the figure, a light unknown to science, but known perhaps to faith. Forensic analysis adds yet more weight. The wounds align with Roman crucifixion practices, nails through wrists, scourge marks consistent with whips tipped with bone and metal blood flows that follow gravity in positions matching suspension on a cross. This is not artistic imagination. It is clinical reality. And yet the image itself impossible to reproduce. Impossible to explain, hovers between history and miracle. The face of Christ, revealed what AI has given us beyond technical data, is intimacy. The reconstructions built from faint imprints show the face of a man who suffered beyond measure. His nose is broken, his cheeks swollen, his brow pierced. His lips are parched, his hair matted with blood. And yet there is peace. For believers, this face is not just any man. It is the face of Jesus gazing back across 2 millennia. Not the stylized Christ of icons, not the idealized Christ of Renaissance paintings, but the bruised, beaten, utterly human Son of God. And herein lies the paradox. It is in this brokenness that divinity shines most brightly. The shroud is not a portrait of glory, but of agony. And yet from that agony radiates a power that has converted hearts, healed souls, and renewed faith for generations. Some who view the AI reconstructions describe an overwhelming sense of presence. It is as though the algorithms have not only clarified an image, but unveiled a person. For those with eyes of faith, that person is alive. The shroud does not merely show a dead man. It testifies to one who passed through death into eternal life. A gospel written in cloth. Theologians often call the shroud the fifth gospel. While Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John tell the story with words, the shroud tells it with silence. Every blood stain is a sentence. Every fold of linen is a verse. The entire passion is written in its fibers, the scourging, the crowning with thorns, the crucifixion, the piercing of the side. But beyond Good Friday, the shroud hints at Easter. For what created the image? No brush, no hand, no chemical. It is as though the cloth was struck by a burst of radiant energy, light exploding from within the body it wrapped. Scientists speculate about ultraviolet lasers and unknown radiation. Believers call it by its true name, resurrection. If this is true, then the shroud is not merely a relic. It is a witness. It is the silent testimony of linen that touched the very moment when death was defeated. AI may enhance the pixels, but faith hears the message: He is not here. He is risen. Witnesses. Across the centuries, the shroud has never been a relic for the curious alone. It has been a relic for the faithful. Across the centuries, countless witnesses have stood before it: kings and peasants, popes and skeptics, saints and sinners. All have left changed. In the Middle Ages, when it was first displayed, pilgrims would travel hundreds of miles on foot just to glimpse its faded lines. Many wept openly. Some claimed healings both physical and spiritual. For them, the shroud was not proof in a courtroom sense, but a mirror of their own faith. The saints in particular spoke of it as a living sign.
Each impurity
St. John Paul II, who prayed before the shroud in Turin, declared it a mirror of the gospel, urging the world to look not at the cloth itself, but at the man it reveals. For him, the shroud was not an idol, but a window, a thin veil through which the mystery of Christ's suffering shines. Even skeptics, though unconvinced, confess to being haunted. The shroud does not fade from memory. Its face lingers, its wounds speak silently, and its unanswered questions echo long after one leaves its presence. Modernity and the call of faith. What makes the shroud so astonishing today is its survival into the digital age. In an era when faith is often dismissed as superstition, the shroud confronts us with a paradox, a relic that grows more mysterious the more it is studied. AI was expected to settle the debate once and for all. Instead, it has deepened it. Here lies the tension between modernity and mystery. Algorithms can sharpen pixels, enhance contrast, and reconstruct hidden dimensions, but they cannot explain how the image was made. They cannot account for the presence of Middle Eastern pollen. They cannot deny the forensic precision of crucifixion wounds. They cannot erase the centuries of devotion, the tears of pilgrims, the conversions inspired. If anything, AI becomes an unwitting evangelist. By stripping away doubts about artistry or forgery, it leaves us face to face with the unexplainable. And when confronted with what cannot be explained, humanity is drawn once more toward what must be worshipped. In a world obsessed with data and proof, the shroud quietly proclaims that faith is not opposed to reason, but transcends it. Science may describe, but only faith can receive. The shroud's message for humanity. What then does the shroud say to us today? It does not shout. It does not argue. It simply shows us a man broken, crushed, humiliated, and yet radiant. It whispers that love is stronger than death, that sacrifice is not defeat, that God Himself entered into the very depths of human suffering to redeem it from within. In the age of AI, where machines can mimic creativity and algorithms can scan the depths of ancient relics, the shroud stands as a divine contradiction. Technology may reveal details, but only God reveals meaning. What the shroud ultimately offers is not information, but transformation. It calls us to believe not in linen, but in the one, the linen once wrapped.
Yet still a mark remains.
It calls us to see in the face of the crucified not despair but hope. It calls us, as it called the disciples at the empty tomb, to hear the angel's words. Why do you seek the living among the dead? He is not here. He is risen. A silent light in the darkness. The Shroud of Turin is, and will likely remain, one of the greatest mysteries of faith and science alike. For centuries, it has defied explanation, endured attacks, and survived fires. Today, even under the scrutiny of artificial intelligence, it refuses to give up its ultimate secret. And yet perhaps that is precisely the point. The shroud is not meant to end debate, but to awaken wonder.
History shows facts.
It is not meant to prove God like a solved equation, but to draw us closer to Him through mystery. Its silence is its loudest proclamation. As the AI scans fade into lines of data and researchers publish their findings, the shroud continues to gaze back at us with that bruised yet peaceful face. It asks us the same question it has asked for centuries. Do you believe for it? For those who answer yes, the shroud is not just a relic, but a revelation. Not just cloth, but a canvas scorched with divine light. Not just an image of a dead man, but the testimony of the living God who conquered death. The last word belongs not to science, nor to skeptics, nor even to AI, but to faith. And faith declares what the shroud has always proclaimed in silence: Christ is risen. Truly, He is risen.